Hey, I debated not recording this, and in fact, I started the card without recording it. I'm sorry, baby bear. You can't usurp mommy's space today. Mommy has to make this card. I'm sorry. Yes, you're freaking adorable. Yes, you're the cutest little pootist ever. But you have to go somewhere else. You have to either sit in your bed here, or you have to sit in your bed on the floor. Because mommy has to make this card. I know. Normally, mommy lets you stop the creative process, but mommy's got to make this one today. Sorry, baby bear. There you go. Down you go. All right. Anyway, I have to make this card. One of our friends' mother died today, and so I'm going to be making a sympathy card, which is one of the sad but true facts of life. And she had a long bout with her illness, and she put up the good fight, but the illness won in the end. And so I'm making the sympathy card. Like I said, I started making this because I didn't think I was going to record it, but since I'm not going to have the spoons to do anything for a few days, I figured I may as well put this one up so y'all could see it. I just took my 3-inch circle punch and punched a 3-inch hole in a piece of cardstock and used that for the template. You can see I missed a little bit because the edge isn't very big, but that's okay because this is going to be a sunset. And then I also have the 3-inch hole that I can use to mask this when I do the sunset around it. So that's where I started. And I have ripped this piece of paper to be an uneven surface of water underneath this. And I'm lining it up, the straight edge. I'm lining up the straight edge with one of the lines on this glass plate so that I make sure that I get this straight. And I can see that this is going to be a very odd shaped piece of water. So let me even that out a little bit. And I'm just ripping the edge. Sorry, I'm not good at remembering that I have to keep things in frame. I noticed that y'all didn't actually see my little bottle that I keep my little rag in so that it stays damp so that I can use it over more than one day. For those of you that are just now turning in or turning on my channel or just wanted to see what's going on, I am not going to be one of those screamy, fast-talking people that you see on YouTube. I will have energy, but it's not going to be one of those screamy, fast-talking channels because the screamy, fast-talking channels really affect my sensories because the autism just, it's a sensory thing. And so I don't want to have that screamy vibe in my channel. So this one I got off of Temu. It was $226 or something like that. And I'm just using this and then also this one, which is Starry Gray, I'm going to make the water. I wanted to use just this for the water, but it's just too blue. So I'm going to add a little bit of gray to it to make the water. And I'm just going to make a little bit of water over here. And I'm just going to do it heavy in the middle and lighter on the edges because I'm going to put some land around it. I'm going to put some green so that there's like some land around it. So it's going to be, the color's going to be heavier in the middle than it is going to be on the sides. I hope that's in screen. Oh, good, it is. And it's just these little magnets. The glass board is magnetic. Again, got it off of Temu. It's a magnetic glass board. This one was supposed to be like $18, but I got it for free with a purchase. I get a lot of stuff for free off of Temu. If you can work Temu right, you can end up getting a lot of stuff for free and a lot of credits, but you really got to know how it works. And I've spent quite a bit of time studying the algorithms of Temu and learning how to get the best bang for buck off of Temu. But I'm just going to make this a little watery, sunset-y looking thing, and hopefully it turns out the way I want it to. I don't actually have one of those brushes for my gray. I did pay for these. I think I got 50 of them for $16 off of Temu. They came in a whole big pack of 50, so like I got a lot of these now. And again, when I do them, I open up the end, and I don't really like these little sticky things. Again, it's a sensory thing. If you don't mind the little stickiness of them, go for it. But I don't like the little stickiness of it. It messes with my senses. So just take that off and then get some gray on there, and add it to this so that it looks more natural watercolor, because water isn't just blue. And then I'm going to add some sunset colors radiating out from where the sun is over the water. And like I said, I'm going to leave the sides so that I can make them green and greenish. And I'm hoping that me doing this isn't shaking the camera too much. But that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm just going to film as much as I can. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to put out there, because even before we found out that his mother passed away, this has not been a good day for me mentally. It's been a very stressful day. I had to leave my house today for a doctor's appointment, and those always wreck my world. So just doing that. And then move this out of the way, and you can see what I'm getting out of this. And then I'm going to make this into the sunset reflecting off the water, and I'm going to make the sunset area kind of orangey and pretty, which is why I didn't really mind that I messed up this little area and made it over, because that's going to be part of the sunset colors. So there's my starting point. There's my water. There's my sun. I'm going to need this as well to mask that again, so I can do my sunset colors on the bottom. I may as well do that now. But this is just what my thought was for making this card. And like I said, I don't know how long the video this is going to be. I may videotape the whole thing, or I may only videotape part of this and then show you the finished card in a video later, because I'm still not editing. I don't have the spoons to edit. This is just raw footage of me crafting. And this is what it looks like when I craft. So I'm going to start with the darkest color that I used in the sun, which is the red. And when I did the sun, I did it all, this one first. So mustard seed was the first color that I did. I did the whole thing in mustard seed. Then I added some spiced marmalade at the top and some fired brick at the bottom. So it gets this nice, beautiful little gradient of a sun that's actually setting. So that was where I went with that. And let me put this back on here. Let me line it up where it was. One of the nice things about an irregular edge is it's easier to line it back up. Put my little magnets back in place so that it stays there, and start with the darkest color. And again, I'm going to go darkest closest to the sun and then lightest as it goes out. And I'm going to hopefully see that that works out well. So, and again, I apologize if what I'm doing is shaking the camera. But put a little bit of this. Oh, whoops. It came up. Got to go that way. Put the darkest color right there in that respect. And put my brush away. I have too many brushes out. Oops, I got to put all my brushes away. And then the next color is the spiced marmalade, which is this brush. So let's close the fired brick, open up the spiced marmalade, and we'll put some of that radiating down towards this area, blending it together to get a nice even blend of the colors, and then end it off with the mustard seed. Oh, there it is. It's like I have an extra one of these, but it was my blue-green sponge that wasn't in there. And ended off with the mustard seed at the end. And, you know, all I can really say regarding what's going on is just, you know, one thing that mental health has taught me is that it's very important to keep people in your life that add to the quality of your life. And it's very important to remove people from your life that remove from the quality of your life. And my mental health has shown me that I really don't have time. Oh, no! Oops, sorry about that. They're very strong magnets. I don't really have the time or the energy to deal with people that are not genuinely trying to be a positive part of my life. And for the longest time, I was so determined to fit into what society thought I should do and what society thought I should be, that I spent a lot of time trying to make myself, mold myself into what the people around me seemed to be saying that they wanted me to be. And it was a fool's folly from the get-go. There was no way that I was going to be acceptable to these people because no matter what, I was going to be socially inept, and I was going to be socially incapable of behaving in a manner that they found acceptable or proper or right. And my being a shut-in and my mental health situation has really shown me which of my friends were actual friends and which of my friends really and truly cared about who I was as a person and how I grew as a person and how I became a more, I don't want to say acceptable because that's not true, but a more genuine, there we go, a more genuine person. The people that are still in contact with me, and it's very, very, very few. The contacts in my phone, I've probably got 150, 250 contacts in my phone. And of those contacts, maybe 7, maybe 8 still keep up with me, still keep in touch with me. And those 7 or 8 people are the genuine people in my life. And those are the people that I'm trying to, well, those are the people that are going to stay. But I'm not concerning myself with the people who don't want to be a genuine part of my life, because I don't need ingenuous people judging me and being improper about me when I'm not around. And I think that's one of the saddest things. And there's a lot of memes about it. You know, you look at Charles saying such bad things about me, and here I am watching hippos try to jump. Or y'all out there saying all these things about me, and, you know, all I care about is whether or not there's a new cat video on YouTube. And it's very true, because there's a lot of toxic people, or at least there were a lot of toxic people in my life. And those were people that really only stayed in contact with me while I was valuable or useful to them. So I was just literally, I felt like I was just literally being used by these people now that I've been away from all of that for so long, from being a shut-in. All right, there's that part. Got the red going. I mean, got the yellow going. That was mustard seed. Moving on to spiced marmalade, which I believe is this brush. And again, I'm going to use the spiced marmalade more from the midline down, and then work it into the yellow near the top. But I want the spiced marmalade to be darker near the midline of the sun and lighter near the top of the card. I have never done a sunset before. I have seen people do it, but this is the very first one that I've done. And you know, there's a significant difference between watching someone do something and actually doing something. So, and there you can see that line has now all but disappeared. So that's why I really wasn't worried about that line when I made it, when I was using this, because you can see it went over the edge with the mustard seed. But part of my mental health issues, I think, stemmed from trying to behave in a way that was acceptable to these people that did not care about me, could not have cared less about who I was as a person, or what my, you know, the authentic me, could not have cared less about the authentic me. I was literally in their lives because I was useful. And that's a bad feeling, to realize that you're just useful to someone. And those 7 or 8 people, though there are very few people that still keep up with me and still, you know, ask me how I'm doing and check in on me and chat with me. There are a few people that I can still actually talk to on the phone. Because I have a huge problem talking to people that I don't know on the phone, in real life, anything. That's why I don't go out. I'm so terrified of people, because I just don't, I know how much I don't know, and it's boggling my mind, and it's just very difficult. Okay, that was the spiced marmalade, and now for the fired brick, which I'm going to put midline and down, much darker, trying to get this whole sunset looking thing going. And I'm holding my finger on this piece of masking paper that I've got over the sun, because I really don't want to move it around, because I really want this to look really nice. like I said, this person is a great friend, and we are devastated at his loss. His mom was such a genuine and such a caring person. And so I really want to make this card look really good for him and his family. And then I'll just do wisps of this darker color up into the top, but just wispies, just like that. Basically just getting the rest of the ink off the brush, just like so. Now, moment of truth. This turned into green down here. My sunset's green. Oops. Anyway, let's moment of truth. Let's remove all these little magnets, separate them so they don't snap into each other again, and lift it up. And no, I have totally lost the definition of the sun. Oh dear. Oh my. Whoops. Let's get back in here and put some bright yellow over that sun. My sun just disappeared completely. Like I said, this is my first attempt at making a sunset, so bear with me. I've watched videos on it, but again, obviously watching a video is very much not the same thing as making it yourself. So let's add some more yellow into this sun, and maybe we can make the sun stand out a little bit from the rest of the sunset. And then I've got silhouette stamps that I'm going to stamp on the sides. And I've got a silhouette flying bird, I think, that I'm going to put over the top with, you know, our deepest sympathies, sentiments. Because we really do. We really, over the course of time being friends with this man, we've really gotten to know him and his mom, and she was such a wonderful person. That's better, but I got a white line over here that I just don't like. So let's move this over just a wee tad. And maybe if I'm lucky, it'll look like a shadow on the sun. Like the sun's being shadowed by this one bright yellow line right on the side. There. See, that's really kind of cool. Completely unintended, but really kind of cool. All right, well, since this is already green, I'm going to just make that green. And I think I'm going to keep the gray out and put a little bit of gray in the green because my green is a very, very bright green. All of my greens are very bright greens. I bought a lot of really bright colors. Not really thinking about the need for dull colors, but at least I have the gray. So there goes the mustard seed back in its little cubby hole with its little brush. And bye-bye spiced marmalade back into your little cubby hole with your little brush. Oops, your little brush. Wait, that's fired brick. Where's marmalade? There's marmalade. That's the fired brick brush. All right, so there goes the spiced marmalade. Fired brick goes back in the fired brick slot with the fired brick brush, which is this one. Again, also trying to keep organized is kind of a challenge too. I think that's kind of pretty though. All right, so I've got Lucky Clover in my Distressed Oxide. And I didn't bring out my brush. Apparently I haven't used this one yet. I have a brush stored with it, but there's nothing on it. And so I'm going to start putting green down here so that there is a bit of a shoreline, so to speak. And like I said, I've got silhouettes of plants that I can put on this shoreline so that they look like they're silhouetted by the sun. And they're just stamps that are solid stamps. I don't think I'm going to put very much dimension on the card itself. Kind of lost my entire lake doing that. Oh well. I'll figure something out. Put that away. Get out the gray one again. Add some gray to this. Add some nice starry gray to my grass. Oops, cover my Lucky Clover. So anyway, I mean, if you have toxic people in your life, and I didn't realize, to be fair, I did not realize how toxic these people were until I got away from them. Because in my attempt to mask, I justified their toxicity. I made excuses for why they were like that. And I made excuses for why I was treated that way. And a lot of them a lot of my excuses had to do with me denigrating myself. oh, I just don't understand, or, oh, I made a mistake, or, oh, I did something wrong. If you watched my last video, you remember that I hang on to information and details, things that have happened in the past, because I want to figure out what it is that I did wrong in those situations. And one thing that I have learned from now being a shut-in and being isolated is that I probably didn't do anything wrong. I was just being unfairly treated by a society that marginalizes people who aren't normal. And I hate that word. I just want to put it out there. I really don't like that word. I don't think that's a fair word to use, because people come in so many different sizes and shapes and flavors and colors that there just really isn't anything that's normal. Everybody has different tastes. And when you've got 8 billion different individuals who have every right to be their authentic self on this planet, it's very difficult to nail down normal, because what may be acceptable in one country is unacceptable in another. You know, if I were to throw a peace sign backwards here in America, the United States of America, I'd just be saying peace. But if you do that in Britain, it's the same thing as flipping someone off. So, you know, it's unfair to try and label anybody as normal, because there really isn't any such thing as that in this world. All right, I'm going to add a little few shoots of grass. Fine liner color pen. They're 0.4 millimeter. Again, Temu. I think I probably paid $2 for that. And I'm going to just put some little fuzzy pieces of grass on here, like so. And then I'm going to add, so that I have something that's not a stamp. So I have something that shows the line that's not a stamp. And then I'm going to cover these with the stamp. And hopefully it makes a nice little design that looks good. Wow, those look like whiskers. I hope the stamp fixes this. I may end up remaking this card. Oh my goodness. I hope the stamp fixes this, because I think I might have just messed up. But you know, hey, it's a learning curve. Everything's a learning curve. I've never done a style like this before. I'm trying something. Those really look like that little lake has a beard now. I'm not sure what I was thinking. Now I gotta find my silhouette stamps. There we go, they're in here. My little silhouette birdie flying stamps. Nope. That's not them. Nope, that's not them. Although that was silhouette stamps. It's just not little birdie flying silhouettes and marsh silhouettes and stuff like that. Maybe I never brought it in here. Hold that thought. I'll be right back. Baby bear is asleep on the floor. I'd let you watch some baby bear video while I go and check. Oh, sorry, baby bear. Oh my goodness, I popped you right in the noggin. Sorry, baby. Are you gonna come back, baby man? I know Mommy tonked you in this noggin and you weren't happy about that. Mommy didn't mean to tonk you in this noggin. YouTube 101, don't have dead air time on your channel. Oops, oh well. Like I said, I don't really follow what society considers to be norms anymore, because I want to be authentically me. And not being able to edit these videos is something that is authentically me. I I couldn't find the stamp that I was looking for, so I'm going to look through here and see if I can find one that I like. Again, all of this came off of Temu. Even the card, even the thing that it's held in. No, those aren't silhouettes. Well, those are partially silhouetted, but I don't really think mushrooms and fairies is the right vibe. Oh, I know. Mommy stamped this noggin. Ooh, nice silhouettes of clouds, though. Oh, those will be cool. I might do a release with those so it takes some of the ink off instead of putting stuff on. I know, Bears. Mommy stonked you in this noggin, and Mommy feels very bad about that. Yeah, Mommy stonked you in this noggin. I know. Mommy feels bad. Yeah, Mommy feels bad. Mommy feels bad because she stonked you in this noggin. There weren't any in that one. Let's try this one. Again, Temu. All this stuff is super cheap on Temu. Oh, there's some pretty silhouetted leaves. I'll just pull out all the silhouette stamps that I have and see what I can come up with. That one's not bad, but it's not quite a silhouette. You know, I could mask off everything, but I could mask off all of that so that it didn't have the little thing and have that. And that actually is not a bad idea. Something like that, only mask off this part of it so it doesn't stamp. I might try that. Num. Not the right silhouettes, not the right silhouettes, not the right silhouettes. Here, let me move this up here because maybe you can't see everything. Not the right silhouettes, not the right silhouettes. Nope. Seriously, people. Temu. Cheap. Very cheap. Those aren't silhouettes. I really want silhouettes. This is one of my favorite silhouette ones right now, but totally not appropriate for this particular card. Oh, baby, you can't, not that. I know, you're upset with Mommy. Here, let me give you some more food. Yes, I know that's what you want. Yes, I do. You were up here asking for food earlier. There you go, have a little bit of kibble. I don't give him much each time. He only gets like a teaspoon each time, so don't worry that I'm overfeeding my cat. And you can tell from his silhouette, he is not an overfed baby. Not finding the stamps that I want to use, but I think that this might work out. Use that, only mask off the part that I don't want, and see how it looks. And if I mess it up, I can always make a new card. Nothing says that I have to use this card if it's not what I want it to be. Where's the opening on this? And on these from Temu, I don't even keep the little bag at all. I just keep them in the container. And okay, got my stamp. Got my 6x6 acrylic block, put my stamp on there, and I'm going to just stamp up what I actually want to put on this, which is that, and then I might come back and restamp this other part. I need my ink black. Let's see if I can do this correctly. Ink black that up. Could be something of a learning curve. This could not work. It could work beautifully. We're about to find out. Look, you and I, whoever happens to be watching, we get to learn together as to whether or not this particular stamp was a good idea for this particular card. And if not, like I said, I will just make a new one. Because I want this to be nice for him and his family. I decided when I started making cards that I wasn't going to pre-make sympathy cards. You know, the whole let's not tempt karma thing. All right, so let's put it about here. It's a little bit off the stamp, but that's okay because I'm going to trim this down some anyway. And my little pressy thing. Press. Give it some nice press. Hopefully get all that ink into this card. Hopefully I didn't just make a little spot on my son because of that right there, because I felt the stamp tilt a little bit. Hopefully it didn't happen. Press all that ink into that card, lift it up. Whoa! Oh, wow. That looks nice. Not really fond of that. Let's see if I can blend that in somehow. Let's get my Starry Glade blending brush and see if I can blend that in somehow. Just blend it up. Interesting. But that does look really nice. Okay. So you get the idea of what this card's going to look like. I'm actually going to do a version 2 because I'm not happy with the way this one is turning out. But I do love the way these palm trees look, and I'm definitely going to use them in my card. Let's see. Since this is no longer a usable card, since it's just going to be... I mean, it's not that it's not usable. I can cut off this part and cut off that part and make a little 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card front with it. It's not like I can't use it. But I'm not going to use this for the sympathy card because I'm not proud enough of it. But while I'm doing that, since I'm testing anyway, I'm going to put a cloud on there and see how the cloud silhouettes look. So let's get this out. There's a cloud. Smaller acrylic block, like so. Ink black, like so. Or do I want starry gray? I'm going to try ink black first. In fact, since this is a test card, I can do both starry gray and ink black and see how it works. Well, other than the fact that the center didn't come out, that's not very good. Try and line that up. There, that got more of the center out. Yeah, not fond of that. Let's try starry gray. Oh, that's mint green. Where's starry gray? There's starry gray. Sorry about that squeaky noise. That was me pulling the ink pad out of the holder that I have over there. All right, so same idea. Clean off the stamp first. Oop, that's the wrong side. Clean off the stamp. Do some starry gray. Pat that down. Somewhere that I'm going to cut off when I do this stamp, when I do this card, so I don't have to worry about it. See what the starry gray looks like. Oh, well, ew, that's even worse. Okay. You get the idea what I'm doing. You get the idea why I'm doing it. That was a little bit of more background about me and being a shut-in and, you know, exorcising with an O-R instead of an E-R, exorcising people from your life that are negative and toxic. Because you have every right to be authentically you. And if the people in your life don't appreciate you as you are, then they need to go. And I think my life is richer now with my 7 real friends than it ever was with me trying to appease 150, 200 contacts that really just didn't care. So, something to think about. Until next time.